Hey everybody, happy to say I've got a little crayfish making an appearance. Just came down here to get all the tank fed. I've actually got the camera rolling in my 29 miscellaneous tank. I decided I was going to do some tank cam video of my loaches in that tank. I've never done a tank cam on my 29 before, and I've got all those cool little zebra loaches on the bottom, so I thought that might be an interesting video to shoot. And so I'm letting the camera roll as I go around the room feeding everybody else, and lo and behold, I look over and one of the pretty small crayfish, I'm actually kind of surprised this one's still in there. That's actually small enough that one of the creek chubs could probably just eat that crayfish whole. And I think what happens, because I did see some broken up pieces of crayfish the other day, I saw a couple of legs and a couple of pieces of broken claw, and I think what happens is the creek chubs just strike at the crayfish when they see them, and they just sort of break pieces of their shell off, or they'll tear a leg off, or they'll rip a claw off, and eventually they just beat the crayfish up to the point where it just wears them down and it kills them, and then they can go ahead and eat it. You know, they can continue beating up on it and just tearing it up piece by piece. But apparently this little one is pretty good at hiding and staying out of the way. I'm really surprised nobody's come by while it's been out feeding. I did feed the tank a little while ago, so all of the creek chubs, you know, certainly had plenty to do. Oh, look at this. Got another one making an appearance. The weather has not been conducive for me to get out and even just throw the trap out. I suppose over the last couple of days I could have gotten out and just thrown the trap out. I just haven't gotten around to it because I don't really want to commit myself to having to go back down and get the trap again the next day. I know it's not that big a deal, but I just don't want to do that just yet. So the next couple of days are supposed to be really, really hot and miserable, and I really don't think I'm going to be doing much outside. So that might be a good opportunity to just run down the street, throw the crayfish trap in the water, and forget about it. We can go back the next day and check it out again. I'm trying to get a look at that pleco back there. It's a really cool fish. But I suppose I ought to be trying to get as much video of the crayfish as I can while I can, because the crayfish don't make that much of an appearance anymore. How's that? I'll get them both in there. I keep looking for that other crayfish and it's not coming back out, and I'm looking around and don't see any other ones either, so it might be just these last two remaining. You never know. I was really beginning to wonder if there was any left at all, since I saw some pieces of crayfish the other day, but I did not see any actual crayfish in a while. And now it looks like we've definitely got at least those two. See if we can see any down this end of the tank. I don't see any more. We used to have one living down between these rocks. I was going to say I see some movement down there now, but that's just that little suckerfish coming in from behind that other rock. But my tilapia has mounded all the gravel up in this corner, so it's hard for any crayfish to stay in that hole because it just keeps getting filled up with gravel. Oh, there's that little crayfish making another little appearance back there. That, of course, is my Chinese algae eater. That awful, awful fish. He doesn't seem like he's getting any bigger, but he's definitely still in here, and I'm sure he's probably still problematic and harasses my other fish. He's aggressive and nasty. I hate that fish. So we've got the little crayfish crawling around down there, and then we've got the larger crayfish wrestling with the pleco right here. I really like this pleco a lot, and the bigger it gets, the more I like it. growing fast too. It's growing a lot faster than the other one that is supposedly the same species. Excuse me. In my T-bar tank. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I've got clown loaches that I bought at the same time and are very clearly the same species. A clown loach is kind of hard to misidentify. And I've got some clown loaches that have grown so much faster than other ones. You wouldn't think they were the same fish. The rate of growth is so much different. So I can't necessarily say that just because this one's growing faster than the one in my T-bar tank, that would be any kind of an indication that it's a different sort of species of fish. But it almost seems that way. Of course, I say the same thing about my clown loaches. It almost seems like they're different species. I feel like I'm playing whack-a-mole. Every time I try to get the camera on one, they kind of duck back down and go away, and then I move away, and then they come back out. Just look down to the right, and that other one was just sticking his face out, and as I was getting ready to move the camera in that direction, he crawled back in, so no point in looking down there again. So, alright, there you go, everybody. I'm going to call that the end of the update. I got to go tend to my other camera that's still rolling in my other tank. I got to start editing that video together. But I just wanted to give you an update and show you that I do still indeed have a couple of crayfish. Look, he's out again. He keeps making these little appearances, and then every time I look over, he ducks back down behind that. So I'm pretty sure underneath of this white rock here, that flat white rock, is where that little one lives. So we've got a good idea of where to look when we want to try to find him. And then I've seen this one down here a couple of times living underneath of this piece of wood. You can kind of see that little cave down there. And that one I'm pretty sure lives down in this little cave, so we can kind of keep our eye out there and watch for him. And again, hopefully within the next few days I'll be able to get outdoors again and we can start, working on catching some more and going down, and maybe we'll even take the dip net and go down. If it's a really hot day, maybe walking in the stream will be a nice little refreshing treat, so we'll see how that works out. So anyway, make sure you're subscribed. That way you won't miss any of that or anything else I got coming up. You never know what it's going to be with me. So thanks again, everybody. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you real soon on the next one.